Discussing an important thing about the force, that is conservative force. A conservative force is a one for which work done in displacing a body or a particle from one point to the another point is independent of the path followed by the particle, but it depends only on the initial and the final position of the particle. Conservative force means a force in which the total energy of the moving particle remains constant. We know that whenever a body is thrown in the vertically upward direction, it needs to be provided some kinetic energy so that it can be thrown upward direction. But when it will be rising, it will be moving against the gravity, so kinetic energy will be getting converted into potential energy. At maximum height, whole of kinetic energy will be converted into potential energy. Thereafter, body will start falling in the downward direction. Again, potential energy will start converting into kinetic energy, and when body will reach exactly at the same level at which it was thrown upward, the whole of potential again will get converted into the kinetic energy. So from this example we observe that if during the process of conversion of one form of energy into another form there is no loss of energy, in that case, even if conversion of energy is taking place against a force due to which energy loss is equal to zero, then that type of force we call it as a conservative force. So gravitational force is a conservative force because in this case particle is able to convert its kinetic energy completely into potential energy and vice versa, but there is no loss of energy. So force against which when a work is done in displacing the particle and the total energy of the particle remains same, that is there is no loss in the energy, then that type of force is called as a conservative force because it helps to conserve the energy of the particle. So from this we also conclude that when a system possesses conservative forces, then no frictional forces are present in the system due to which there is no loss of energy. When we say that for conservative force, work done in displacing the particle from one point to another is independent of the path followed by the particle but depends on only initial and the final position of the particle, we mean that it doesn't matter how the particle moves from its initial to the final position. Every time it is going to do so, every time same amount of energy will be used up. For example, particle moves from the point A to B. Now there are various infinite number of paths which can connect the particle to move from A to B. One is straight path. Another path particle can take this part number 2. It can also move along this path. It can also move along any arbitrary path. It can also move along this type of rough path 4. But if particle is moving against the force of gravity from point A to B, we observe that whether it takes path 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, in all the paths, it is eventually gaining same amount of height h. So in this case, every time particle moves from A to B by path 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, the amount of energy it is gaining every time it will be mgh. So in this case, we observe that total energy gained by the particle every time comes out to be mgh, and it is independent of the path followed by the particle to move from initial to the final position. So if this type of situation is arising in which energy gained by the body every time comes out to be same for all the paths connecting initial and final position of the body, then that type of force against which body is moving or gaining energy, we call that force as the conservative force. So in conservative force, there is no loss of energy. So if particle moves from point A to B, suppose by this path, particle moves from point A to B by path 1, so there will be gain in energy. So work done on the particle, it will be mgh. But now if particle returns from again point B to the point A by following the path 2, there will be loss in the energy of the body. And how much will be the loss in the energy of the body? It will be minus mgh. So what will be the total energy of the body during this round trip? It will be mgh plus minus mgh, which will be equal to 0. So total work done in moving the particle in a closed path. Closed path means when particle returns to its starting point is equal to 0, which signifies there is no change in the energy of the body. When particle was initially at point A, its energy was 0. So it gained energy mgh to move to B, but when it again returned from B to A, it lost that gained energy, and ultimately its initial and final energy was same, that is 0. So there is no change in energy. So the force against which it is moving, gravity, it is conservative in nature. But the forces for which work done in displacing the particle from one point to another depends upon the path followed by the particle. We call those forces as non-conservative forces. Frictional forces are the non-conservative forces, because when particle is getting displaced from one point to the another, during the displacement, if there are some frictional forces present in the way, then those forces will make the particle to lose some of its energy, due to which the total energy of the particle in a closed path will not be 0. That means total energy of the particle cannot remain constant. So such type of forces, they are called as the non-conservative forces. Now an important relation between potential energy and conservative force. Whenever a conservative force Fx does some work W on a particle present inside a system, then the change in the potential energy of the system is negative of the work done by the conservative force. Again, if conservative force F is acting on a body and is doing some work on the particle, then the change in the potential energy of the system is negative of work done by the conservative force. So when force does some work, change in the potential energy of the system, not the particle, but the change in the potential energy of the system, delta U, is negative of the work done. That is, we can write delta U is negative of W. For example, when body is present at point A at a certain height h above the ground, the potential energy of the body will be Ui, which will be equal to mgh. Now conservative force is the force of gravity. If no force is holding the body at point A, then under the effect of gravity, which is acting in vertically downward direction, it will does some work on the body, and body will fall from point A to B onto the surface of earth. When it will fall to the surface of earth, its potential energy will be Uf, which will be equal to 0. What will be the change in energy? Change in energy delta U will always be final energy minus initial energy, which will be equal to negative 0 minus mgh. So there is loss in energy. So whenever a conservative force does work on the body, so in this case work done by the conservative force gravity on the body was in the downward direction, but how it changed the potential energy of the body? it reduces the potential energy of the body. Do not confuse it with the positive work done. So force is doing positive work on the body. So its kinetic energy is definitely increasing when it is moving downward, but we are finding its relation with the potential energy. So its potential energy is getting decreased. That's why its kinetic energy is increasing. So work done by the conservative force onto the body is always negative in nature. That means it reduces potential energy. That's why we write delta U equal to minus W. We know that work done under variable force condition is given by integral of fx dx from xi to xf. So if we substitute this into the first equation, delta U becomes equal to negative of integral of fx dx from xi to xf. Xi, xf are the initial and the final positions of the body. If we differentiate the whole equation with respect to x, we have du by dx equal to negative of fx. Derivative and integration are opposite to each other, so integral gets cancelled. So we finally arrive at the equation fx is equal to negative of d by dx of u. Negative of du over dx means we are dividing the change in the potential energy with the small displacement which the body is covering from moving from point A to B. So if body is suffering change delta U while moving from A to B and it is suffering a displacement delta x, then du by dx is actually delta U over delta x. The quantity onto the right side, du by dx, we call it as the potential energy gradient. Gradient is a physical quantity in which a given physical quantity is divided by the distance. So if some physical quantity is divided by the distance, then we call it as a gradient of that quantity. For example, if temperature is divided by the distance, we call it as temperature gradient. If we divide volume by the distance, we call it as the volume gradient. If density is divided by the distance, we call it as a density gradient. Similarly, there is a change in the potential energy of the body when it moves from A to B. We call it as the potential energy gradient. So this equation first indicates that potential energy is actually a function which is the negative gradient which gives us the conservative force. Or we can also say that conservative force is a force which is equal to the negative gradient of the potential energy. This means that if conservative force is given to us, from that we can find out the change in the potential energy of the body. If potential energy is given to us, then by having its gradient we can find the value of the conservative force. Last, we are discussing about Einstein's mass energy relationship. According to Einstein's mass energy relationship, E is equal to mc square. This equation indicates that mass can be converted into energy or energy can be converted into mass. So E equal to mc square gives us the energy produced when mass is fully converted into energy, or if we write this equation as m is equal to E by c square, then this equation gives us the mass produced when energy is converted into the mass. This relation signifies an important property that if a particle is even in the stationary state, also free from any external force acting on it, then it will not possess any kinetic energy, it will not possess any potential energy. So total mechanical energy of the particle will be equal to 0. But even in this case, it will possess an energy which we call as the rest mass energy, which arises due to its rest mass. This energy is different from the other types of energies which we already studied, like chemical energy, heat energy, kinetic energy, or the potential energy. So this energy arises when mass is actually converted into the energy. This type of energy is quite visible in few of the effects occurring around us. For example, annihilation of the matter-antimatter, pair production, or energy production in the stars, or energy produced in a nuclear reaction. Annihilation of matter and antimatter, for example, when electron and positron is the antiparticle of electron having same mass as that of electron, but the charge same as that of electron but with the positive charge. So when electron and positron meet together, then they completely destroy each other's mass. So their combined mass gets converted into energy. So this is the conversion of mass into energy. But in pair production, energy is converted into mass. So if a gamma radiation of a certain sufficient value is allowed to pass through an electric field of a nucleus, then the energy of gamma radiation is get converted into an electron and a positron which fly opposite to each other. Energy produced in the stars or in a nuclear reaction is also rising due to this rest mass according to E equal to mc square. So if we carry out a nuclear reaction and then we calculate the mass of the reactants and the mass of the products, we will observe that the mass of the products will be slightly less as compared to the mass of the reactants. This difference in the mass, we call it as the mass defect. Why the mass after the reaction is decreasing? This is because that mass is lost into the energy, it is converted into the energy. Thank you.